our first one. I'm Jennifer 7, and what I'd like to start with is this. If midlife is feeling different, you're not failing, you're just noticing. Today is a reset. It's not a performance review. We're just going to get clear on what's changing and what's still in your control, and then we'll have you choose just one focus for the next 7 days. But what I'd like to start with first is just some check ins. I'd love to know if you have a win, either something really little or something big, that's fine. Tiny wins count too. Something in your life that you want to in kind of combination with midlife, something that's happened for you in the last 7 days. So whoever would like to go first, I would love for you to jump in.
Well, I'll go first because, I've been a member of yours since the day it opened and I've learned so much. But as you guys know, I've had eye surgeries and I've had to take medications that I don't normally take. And one of them is prednisone, and it tends to make your face fat and everything else down in the body. And I was reading a post. I read your post last night. I go in and I read everybody's posts in the evening. And I was catching up with you have this list, and it is a list of how to grade yourself versus, diet yourself. Like, how's your energy? How's your mood? And I was like, now this is it. This is my win. I've never seen that. And so, yesterday I read it and my energy popped up because I was so excited. And I was at a 15 like all day. I was like, oh, I get this. It's the first thing I did this morning as well. That's my win. And my win is I switched from being disciplined and beating myself up to self care.
Mm.
What are my numbers for these four things? Big win. Simple tool, big win. That's my win.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I really want people to start to tune into their bodies rather than
Mhm.
the metrics of everything. It's like, let's really check in with who we are and what we are actually feeling, and then we can adjust accordingly. So, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah,
that.
it was great. And
Yay.
you asking even if you're hungry, because you know how when you work a lot, you forget to eat?
Mhm.
Or you don't even check in, you kinda disconnect from your body. It was really a great tool. That it's great win, and I just wanna say that.
Yeah, that is really good. And I have a lot of clients who they just eat to eat, and I want them to start to tune in. Like, are you really hungry? Is your stomach growling, or are you just kind of bored and want to just eat something? So it's the same kind of thing. Just really listening, listening. Is that
Mhm.
stomach growling? Are you really hungry? Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. Karen, you wanna jump in, share anything?
Well, before I share mine, I just want to reiterate what Vicky said. That is such a fantastic tool. And I did it yesterday when it was posted. But I also did it today when I got up, just to really assess where I am, what I need to work on during the day. And the only thing that was my mood and things like that were higher than yesterday. However, I was hungry, so I just got up. So,
Okay.
I did get a 2 on my hunger. My win for the week is that I had a class, first class of 2026, and I'm very pleased with how it went.
It was good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So, being online on video is something that I'm still not comfortable with. So, doing the class, and thank you, Vicky, for being there. We had and a new person popped in, somebody who is new to the membership, and she was driving, but she still popped in. So I was very excited about having some new blood.
Oh,
So that was my
fantastic.
win for the week.
Yay, fantastic. And it's just, we're not even done with the week yet, right?
Yep.
Yes. So for me, well, I had a really bad night. just sleep wise. So that was definitely not a win.
Mhm.
It was one of those waking up at 1 in the morning and just like wide awake for several hours. So I was trying to practice all of the things, all of the things that I tell everyone to do, the breathing, I finally put on, I have found this awesome guy on YouTube who does sleep meditations. He does lots of
Mm,
meditations, but he has this
mm,
very hypnotic voice, and he has an 8 hour one and a 3 hour one. And so I just pop, after I toss and turn for the first hour and finally give up, I pop him into my head. And there's just something about his voice. I don't even have to pay attention to what he's saying. It's like a sleep story. And eventually I just fall off. But
go to
one of
sleep.
the things that I always suggest is don't look at the clock. And I'm so bad about that because then it's like, oh no, oh, how many hours have I been awake? How many hours will I have to be up? So anyway, that's not a win. But a win would be checking in with myself this morning and saying, yeah, I'm a little bit tired, but that's okay. I can still get through my day. I'm going to be a little kinder, softer to myself, and pretty good about getting my meals in. I'm pretty consistent about that. And today, what I really want to do is get out for a walk. 'Cause we're having incredibly beautiful weather right now.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be 54, 55 today. So just, I haven't been able to get out this week. So today, that will be a win once I get outside. So Holly and I, my pup, will get on our walks today. So I just want to remind you all that midlife progress is just quieter. It's not, it's sometimes subtler than other things in our lives, and it can spiral. Like today, the sleep problem for me, it's been so much better, but then for some reason last night wasn't. But we want to just have fewer crash decisions, and just more of, I can handle this. So, what I thought I would talk a little bit about is just some of these midlife shifts that you are not imagining. And I know, Vicki, you've shared about your eye before, and almost being gaslighted about it. But a lot of the shifts that are very common that we hear about, sleep is huge. We have lighter sleep, less sleep, more wake ups, more wired but tired. Maybe that's what happened to me last night. Just too much was on my mind. I mean, thinking about this live today, a lot was on my mind. Our energy, old routines just don't work like they used to.
Mm.
Our energy is different, and I've been really trying to tune into that as well. Like, okay, I'm not 30 anymore. I'm not 25, so I do get tired. I can't push through as intensely as I used to, and that's okay. That's okay. Our body composition is different for sure. Things feel softer, might be a little softer in our bodies, and the scale is not necessarily a friend. I saw this adorable little comic, and it was just a little. It was like a little, just a one. I can't think of the word, like little one cartoon. And it was these two little girls, and they're looking at the scale. And the one little girl looks at the other little girl, and she says, "Don't get on it, it will make you cry." And I just love that because we have been so ruled by the scale, and it can really mess with your head. So, not being as, still an important tool, but not being as dictated to by it. Our moods can be different, more irritability, more anxiety, maybe a shorter fuse. And what I want to remind you is that this doesn't make you broken, it's just part of our midlife transformation. And there are things that we can do to help ourselves. And I like to call them our controllables, our power levers. And what is in control for us is our protein, so that you're not running on fumes, that you're getting your protein in, because really protein is a core. It should be a staple and a priority. So prioritizing our protein, it's going to stabilize your blood sugar. It's going to help you with your energy, and you want to start that in the morning and just get that protein in. Strength. at this time in our lives is so, so, so important. Part of the change in hormones, part of the lessening of our estrogen is that our bones can become weaker. And I actually have been diagnosed with osteopenia. So that's the precursor to osteoporosis, which I don't want. And the things that I need to be doing to ensure that I don't end up with that broken hip in that nursing home later in life, because, ladies, we do live longer. And we could be 30 years of postmenopause, and our bone health and our heart health are so important. And we are living longer than men, but what's our quality of life in those 30 years or 20 years that we are postmenopausal? So strength, super important. Muscle is a big midlife advantage. And then our sleep, I keep coming back to sleep. Sleep is foundational. If we have sleep, everything looks better and everything is more doable. Stress recovery. It's not necessarily that we're going to have less stress, but how can we recover from the stress? And this is where we really want to stop just bargaining with our bodies and learn how to support
Mm.
our bodies. Yes. So what I want to talk about is the fastest way to change is to stop trying to change everything. I don't know about you guys, but it's a tendency to, like, I'm all in, I'm going to do these 20 things, change everything. And then we quit. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about just picking one pillar, one of these control power levers for the next 7 days, not forever, just for 7 days. And then we're going to build proof that we actually can change things with these levers that we're going to implement. So I'm going to turn back to you all and ask a question. What is feeling different in your body right now? And then we'll go a little deeper with that. So anything feeling different in your body right now, that I guess it could be good or bad.
I'll jump in. My
Go.
weight. My weight it has plateaued at a number that I would prefer to see lower. And it doesn't matter what I do, it's there. And short of not standing on the scale, I'm not sure what to do. I have tried different supplements. I don't eat a lot of junk. I don't eat any junk. I eat nutritiously. I start my day with my protein shake. Uh, but it's troublesome for me.
So what one idea for not, if we're going to stay away from the scale a little bit, is the other way is just, how is my body feeling? Am I uncomfortable in my body? Are my clothes not fitting? I'm not feeling good about myself. Those, I call those non-scale ways of looking at ourselves. So that's another way to how are you feeling about, you said it doesn't feel good, but in what way?
Without the scale, just getting undressed and seeing my body and saying, that didn't used to be there. Uh, um, what happened to that flat belly I used to have? Um,
Yeah.
so
Is
it's something that I see every day.
mhm. Yes, clothes fitting differently.
No, clothes are fine,
Okay. All right. So
but
that's good.
they're also the clothing that I bought several years ago when I hit that number and plateaued. So
Yeah. Is there any time when it makes you feel worse during the day? Well, probably when you're getting dressed, when you're noticing.
getting dressed, if I've had a big meal, the
Mhm.
tummy sticks out a little bit more. Um, because I'm not exercising the way I should be. Therefore, stomach muscles are not tight to hold in that turkey dinner I just ate.
Yeah.
So,
Those turkey dinners. Well, is there one thing that makes it a little bit better?
when I have a good day and I can feel, not stepping on the scale, but just I feel, oh, it looks like, I mean, it's not flat by any means, but it looks a little flatter.
Hmm.
So it's definitely a physical thing, um, which makes it tougher because it's there.
Yeah, it's there. And I totally hear you because I think for women in midlife, this is one of the biggest things that we struggle with. It's the belly fat. And I want you to know it's not your fault because it's hormones, a lot of hormonal play going on with that. And it it is one of the toughest things to deal with. So you are not alone. You are not alone. That's for sure. I have it too. I'm like, where did it come from? Those were the days when we could just, do a little dieting for a week or two and boom, it was gone. But
Yeah, a
those
couple of
days are
sit-ups,
gone.
lay flat on the bed, zip your
Right, skip a
jeans.
meal. I remember those days. Yes, well, thank you for sharing that. How about you,
Mhm.
Vicky? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I do. I'm noticing when you ask the question, um, I've had such incredible transformation, and I haven't had the time to share it with you, um, because, we just started and this is our first call, but I've been reading and listening to everything you've done. And for me, when you were like, "How's your body feeling right now?" And I really checked in. I deeply checked in. And this is the first time I think I've ever had an alliance with my body, meaning I've learned enough about menopause where I'm not trying to push through or super disciplined. And I listened in, I really listened in. And one of the things I heard my body say, and you know how words just pop in your head? It was like, kimchi. And I was like, "What?" And then I heard it again, kimchi, kimchi, kimchi. So, of course, I went down and bought some, and I can hear in a different way. The way I'm eating now is completely transformed. It was like
Mhm.
suddenly when the alliance came, it was a natural stop of doing this, and that's, from Thanksgiving to January 1st, that's really the decadent months for me.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of whatever, but what I'm noticing about my body is that my energy is way up. And you were talking about, sleep, and I am very much a proponent every day. Every day, I have a power nap. It's never over 20 minutes. Every blue moon, when I'm really exhausted, there's 30 minutes. But that 10 to 20 minutes a day, that gives me such incredible strength. And I realize now, my body is so strong that I bully it. Like, I need more from you. I need more hours, more this, more that. That's the thing I've stopped doing because of the how's your energy? Are you hungry? What's your body saying? Blah, blah, blah. There's a point where I've actually stopped and thought, this is my best friend. This is the thing that keeps me alive. And I need to treat it differently. So I put myself on a I put myself on a, um, food schedule because I forget to eat. That's my problem, and then by the time I do eat, or I forget to pee, and by the time "Oh my gosh, I'm overly hungry," or, "Oh, I really have to go." But it isn't until something is urgent before I listen to my body. So I've decided I'm not gonna be urgent anymore and just push myself. I'm gonna listen to my body. So I have my kinda check every hour. "How we doing?" "How's the are you hungry?" And, there's more awareness, I guess, I've been building around what I'm doing. And so, um, the holidays are over, and I am on this path to be eating and aware of what my body actually tells me it wants. Like last night, it was like sardines, "Have a can of sardines." And I haven't had a can of sardines in like, you know, they're not like, "Ooh, sardines,"
Yeah,
but I
yum.
Yeah, but it didn't say, "Give me a donut," you know? It didn't say, "I want a cookie." It's so if I listen in, it's telling me, I think it needs a little bit of, stomach stuff from
Mhm.
I had to take, um, the kind of antibiotics that your stomach should be.
Mess with your gut. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, "Kimchi? Like, I've eaten it and I enjoy it, but it isn't like, 'Let's go out and get some kimchi,'" you know?
Right. Yeah. That's fabulous, and it's the fermented foods. Obviously, you're
Mm.
craving, and
Yeah,
the sardines, that's good protein. Good protein snack. Definitely wouldn't be sardines. I don't know if I could do it. I just don't like little things with little heads and things.
I
But
know, and last night when I ate them, I was like, "Wow, this is really good," and I was like
oh,
and the
that's
dog
fabulous.
with his nose, "Are you gonna give me some sardines?" And Robin, "What's that smell in the house?"
Yeah. Oh, that's fabulous. I love that. I love that. I actually thank you for sharing that because it takes me back to a time in my life, hmm, maybe 10 to 12 years ago. I was going through a lot. I was going through a divorce. It was a very difficult time, and I went to a retreat here in the Northeast, and a lot of journaling, a lot of meditation, a lot of yoga, and I found myself for some reason just journaling pages and pages and pages to myself about my body because I grew up incredibly disconnected from my body. Uh, you know, food, weight were huge issues in my home. My dad was like, he made my mother get on the scale every day of her life. So we had a lot of stuff around body image and never really understand. And it's so funny because this is what I do now, but just being disconnected that food is actually doing things for your body. It was like you just ate because you had to eat, and that was that. So I had this aha moment where I cried and I journaled, and it was just like saying thank you to my
Mm,
body and thank you to my hands for all that they do for me. And I just wrote thank you for my eyes that can see, thank you for my legs that carry me. And it was really a moment of getting connected to my
yeah,
actual physical body. And it was like, wow, we why have I been so disconnected? And then later, a few years later, I went through meditation training, got my certification, and again, spending more time with your body and through meditation, you begin to listen to what your body's asking for and wants and needs. And that was also very powerful because, and it's kind of sounds picky, like that's where you're at. You're in this alignment of the body's like, if you'll just listen to me, I'll tell you what I need. And if you give me what I need, you're going to feel so much better.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's just,
what's interesting for me in learning from you is it's like these aren't hard things. They're just somebody wrote in the group in the chat yesterday that this is such a simple tip. It works so well. And why can't I find this anywhere on the internet, essentially? And so
Mhm.
I've upped my water intake and,
mhm.
uh, Robin, I told her I wanted to up my water intake, so she got me my favorite color, purple, water
Perfect.
bottle so that I would drink more during the day, and it's always full, and I think I've probably doubled the amount of water, and I know my body is like, "Finally, thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad that you like coffee, but we're gonna cut back on coffee and drink more water."
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
I love that too. And then of course, you're probably like, I don't want to drink that much water because then it'll make me need to pee, and I really don't want to
Yeah.
have to interrupt myself to go pee.
That's so true. It's so true.
it
It's
is.
crazy.
Yes,
But
or
it's
waking up in the
wonderful.
middle of the night to pee.
Yeah, it's so interesting to listen to the other ladies in the group and everything else, and one of the things I really enjoy is you have this kind of, thing where you say, "Here's a good recipe with protein," and everybody else or, "I do this, I do this, I do this," and I'm like, "Wow." So, some of the things we're trying to just make an acquaintance with my
Mhm.
body.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Jen, I have a question for you.
Sure.
In the posts, you reference peri and menopause. Post-menopause,
Mm,
how
that's
much of this, I mean, I can relate to a lot of what you say. Both, oh man, I remember that when that happened. But there's also a lot of it that is, still happening now. So does post-menopause hormone, is that pretty much the same, basically the same as peri and menopause?
uh, so perimenopause can start about 7 to 10 years before you even realize it's happening. The estrogen can begin to fluctuate before the periods become erratic. So that's when we start to have the nice, all the hormonal things seems to really start to go crazy as we're going into and later on in perimenopause. And then menopause is actually defined as 12 months without a period at all. So it starts over. If you're 6 months in and you get a period, then your 12 months starts over. So once you hit that 12-month mark, for one hot minute, you're in menopause. So I always thought menopause was a longer period, but the definition of it is it's that one moment, like that one day, and then everything else is post menopause. So definitely, we can still be having hormonal fluctuations, changes in post menopause, and that's also, the sleep can still be disrupted. All of these things can still, it doesn't really, I don't think it ever really goes away. It just might diminish. But the most important thing that I've come to the conclusion is that bone health and heart health, making sure that's good in the postmenopause. But actually, in this live event that we're doing, we're really trying to appeal to the older women who are like, I'm done with all that. I'm through all that. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. And
Yeah.
there's actually 47 documented symptoms of menopause. 47. So there could be so many things that we don't even realize are related to it. Like Vicky's eye, like your mood, like anxiety, brain fog, the memory piece. Ladies, have you had this where you got to go do something? You go in the other room and you stand there. Why am I here? What was I
Oh,
doing? You go back and it's like, oh, okay, I remember now. Or finding your words sometimes. It's on the tip of your tongue and you're just like, what's that word? And I'm sitting here thinking, is it dementia? Do I have dementia?
that's
But I think it's just hormones. So yeah, so yes. Anything specific, Karen, that you wanted to throw out there that you're feeling in this
No,
postmenopausal part?
I see them in what you say, in your posts. I see the sleep, the irritability, the missing words, the memory, the on and on and on. So it's a matter of hormones that are still trying to figure out what they want to be when they grow up.
It's fluctuating. Yes, yes. Or what they want to be when they just stop.
Yeah.
um, yes. So dry skin, that's another one. Really dry
Mhm,
skin or breaking out. I don't know.
mhm.
We probably all had a little bit of that about, wait a minute, I'm like 50. Why is my skin breaking out? I'm not a teenager
Yes.
anymore. Yeah,
Yep,
so it's
had that.
it's a little crazy. So my second question for you all would be, what do you want to stop blaming yourself for?
Hmm.
And to take that a step further, if you're, well, let's hear what you have to say, and then I'll take it a step further. You could be blaming
I'll
your
ta
body for.
I'll take it, in terms of sleep. I often wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, actually 2:59, I wake up and I lie there. And as opposed to saying, "Oh, it's my, what is it, circadian rhythm,
Mhm.
that's a little off balance," or "It's my fault that I can't stop my head from thinking about my lifeboat," and all of that kind of stuff. I take it personally that I'm not sleeping, which is ridiculous, I know, but that's what I do.
And then how does that make you feel? Do you get frustrated with yourself, angry with
I
yourself?
get frustrated, and then when I wake up in the morning and I have a headache or I'm cranky or whatever, then I tell
Yeah.
myself, "See, I told you you should have slept."
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Yeah. So
So,
beating yourself up a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. Vicki, did you have anything you wanted to share on that?
Yeah, when you asked the question, my heart went right up into my throat, and then I was, trying not to cry. But um, what I would like to say that I was uh, giving up is like, um, I'm giving up blaming myself for it. So, you know how when you're younger, they put sex ed into our schools where we learned about menstruating and things like that. And that's where our education stopped. It just stopped right there. Here's how you have a baby, and there you go. And women in general, it's not just it's postpartum from after birth and perimenopause. The thing you said about it happening 7 years before you realize you're in it, and I was like, that just caught me, that I had flashes in my mind of, "Oh, that's why. Oh, there was a clue. Oh," I'm, like, putting it together on this side. But the whole time that this lack of education for women was happening, I was telling myself there was something wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Why can't I? What happened to? I could see like focus shrinking. And remember when you were teasing, like, am I getting dementia? And going into the room and just standing there and thinking, I actually ask myself now, I'm like, why did you come in the room? What is it? And I've been so mean with myself, and I think that blame and the anger and the your performance is dropping, your productivity needs to be here. I have really strong levels of excellence that this is where I work. I don't, when my body feels here, I force it to go up here. And that force and blame, I've done that for so long just simply because I didn't know. I didn't know hormones are off, or I gotta tell you, my cortisol has dropped, by the way, from
Oops. Can't hear
being
you. Oh, that's me.
can you hear me now? Oh, did you
AirPods.
they lost batteries, the ear pods are down. Can you hear me, Karen?
I can hear you
There.
perfectly.
Okay, so it was just the ear pod batteries. Anyway,
Okay. Say something.
yeah, how about now? Can you hear me? Just plug them out and see if you can how about now? How
Okay.
about now?
Okay.
Got you.
Yes.
Alright,
I think my AirPods.
good.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I don't know what you
It's
you
okay.
were saying something and I went dead.
That's okay. I just feel like, for me, the biggest change, I said my cortisol is down because I've
Mm,
stopped blaming myself and just pushing it and,
Oh, that's
um,
great.
and the I feel more peaceful now because of that, stress that I put on myself. And I gotta tell you, I want as many women as can be told, like, as many women, because I don't want anyone else to go through what we've been through because of the lack of information, and I want science to be a little fairer and not say all scientists are gonna test men and say, "This is for women," it just those 2 things don't go together, and I feel really strongly about it, but what I'm letting go of and what I'm working with now is they just my I write books and I do business. I didn't think the medical pieces. I just thought you only learn, what you learn, and this is so important. There's almost like there's 4 parts to a woman's life. There's the child and the teenage years, and then, you go through all these cycles in perimenopause and then postmenopause. Wow, I didn't even think about that. I
Yeah,
think
and
it's all
and how
very
long it is.
fascinating.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It really is. So what I would ask you all to think about is when you're blaming yourself, would you talk to your best friend like that? Or would you
Mm-mm.
accept that from your best friend?
No.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, right? And
Mhm.
yeah, I've done that too, where it's just like, oh God, you're so stupid. Why did I make that mistake?
Mm.
Um, and or I pride myself on being very accurate with things. And so when I go back and I'm like, oh man, I was going too fast, you dumb dumb. It's like that beating yourself up.
Mhm.
So so of what we've talked about so far, which of our pillars do you think you need the most support with? A sleep, strength, food, or stress? And because those are to me foundational, and if you've got
Mhm.
those under control, then all the other things are going to improve. So anything jump out at you? Just one, the one that feels most wobbly, I guess.
Stress?
Mm,
Yeah, that's that's where I was.
yeah, stress is tough. That is really
Mhm.
tough. And especially if our cortisol is all out of whack and our sleep's not right and we're not
Yeah.
eating right. It all amplifies. This week, what would you say is your number one obstacle for you know uh, any of these things that we've been talking about? It could be
Mm.
time, energy, pain, motivation, overwhelm.
Sleep for me.
Sleep. Yes. Well, because
It's
of my
it's
last night.
been yeah, I've had several nights this week where I wake up at 2:59 and I lie there for 2 hours and then I go back to sleep. And that's just I'm not sure why. My brain is not busier than it was before, um, but wide awake.
Yes.
And
Yes.
as opposed to lying there, I should probably get out of bed and do something, but I don't wanna train my body
Exactly. Yes.
that I wake up at 3 and then go do something and come back to bed.
Hmm.
So that's been my biggest obstacle this week.
And we're going to talk about sleep. But I'll share with you those sleep meditations. It's a guy named Jason Stevenson on YouTube. And I hate it because I'm like, oh, I have to roll over. I have to put my AirPods in. I don't want to wake up my husband. But it has helped me a lot. And Stevenson is PH, not with a V. Jason Stevenson, and he has a lot of them, but he has the best voice. It just kind of, and it may take a little while, but I think I'm retraining myself so that when I do put them in and listen to him, my body's like, okay, because this was me last night. I was wide awake. I could have hopped up and just done 2 hours worth of work at 1 in the morning. I didn't
Mhm.
want to do that. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Um, Vicky, how about you?
Mm. Um, I'm so blessed. My sleep and we have an agreement, me and my body, when it's sleep time, and I sleep really well. Um, and when I have a new business and the business is beginning and I'm excited about what I'm doing and I love what I'm doing and my body and I love what I'm doing, I often wake up with ideas in the middle of the night. And the idea, that excitement of how am I going to do this? How am I going to get that piece done? I see that as healthy and okay. And in fact, I run off that if it happens. But what I believe is the divine talks to me when I'm asleep because I'm out of the way in the
Mm,
conversation and the idea comes in. Then it's 2 in the morning and I'm like, yay, what a good idea. And what I don't want to do is lose the idea. And if I fall back to sleep, sometimes I get up and that thing I wanted to do is
Gone.
evaporated. So, in order to sleep well, I just write it down or I get up and do it. I'm lucky that I have that thing, but I don't know. I know there's good stress and not quite so good stress. And I have a lot of good stress in my life, really good stress. And what I think I want to work on this week is more playtime. Like, I'm always checking school every because, I have all these people with their schools, and I wanna make sure I'm on here and, and replying quickly, and you guys know you're starting it out yourselves, and you're winning, and the thing that stresses me out the most is when I say, "I wanna win faster," and then I push myself. So, I've stopped this week, I've told myself, I'm gonna stop pushing myself. I'm gonna stop being, you know, mean to me. I don't know if it's mean, but, you
Tough on
know,
yourself. Yeah.
it's tough. Yeah. I've had this level of success because I'm tough on myself.
Hmm.
And now I wanna have this level of success without being tough on myself.
Yeah. I love that. And Karen, that's actually, I'm so glad you said that, Vicky, because I think that's what was happening to me last night. I woke up and I had all these ideas. And I was
Mhm.
just like, "Ooh, I gotta do this,
Yep.
but I need to do that." And that was a good one. And and perhaps putting that journal by your bed and just jotting them down because that is one of the techniques, but oftentimes you do it before you go to bed is to kind of do a little data dump out of your head that helps. But if
Mhm.
we're getting this divine inspiration in the middle of the night, that's
That's
really
what
good.
happens.
I like that.
It is, and, some of the reasons that science says it happens to you at night is because there's less EMFs, there's less internet, there's less radio waves, there's less and your body can hear differently, but, sometimes when my mind is so busy getting work done, if the divine is like, "Hello," it just happens at night, and I love that. If I wake up at night, um I always tell myself, "You wake up and do what you wanna do, get it done, go back to bed, and don't just always remember you can have a nap in the middle of the day." I have a nap every day.
That's another good idea. That's really good. Karen, I have in the classroom a whole lesson on sleep. So you might
I'll
want to
check
check
that
it out.
out.
Yeah, check it out. There's like a whole sleep hygiene you can put into place. And then we'll check back in with you and see if it works. So we want to pick one pillar that we want to work on for 7 days. And remember the goal is not perfection. The goal is proof. We want a little bit of proof that by making some simple changes that our bodies can respond. So later, I'm going to ask you to put that in the chat. But here's some pillars that we can talk about. The same pillars: sleep, strength, food, and stress. So we want to pick one, kind of make it a promise to ourselves. But I want you to have a tired day version, like today would be my tired day. So I have these things I want to accomplish in my pillar, but maybe I can't do it 100%, and that's okay. So your tired day version is it doesn't become your backup plan, it actually becomes your plan for that day. So for example, your pillars, if your pillar is sleep and your promise to yourself is screens off 30 minutes before bed because we want to reduce that brain activity, but your tired day, instead of trying to be perfect, could be screens off 10 minutes before bed. um, your promise might be the same bedtime window because it's good if you get yourself on a schedule of going to bed at the same time. Getting up at the same time is a really good way of trying to reset your sleep. But maybe your tired day is just lights are out 15 minutes earlier because I'm just tired. For strength, your promise could be to yourself, I'm gonna do two strength activities this week for 7 minutes. Your tired day could be I'm only gonna do one. Uh, a promise could be uh, doing 10 body weight squats after brushing my teeth every
Mm.
day. But My tired day, I'll do 5. I'll do 5. So having a little plan ahead of time is helpful. For food, your promise could be, I'm going to have protein at the first meal. For the tired day, it could be protein-ish. Um, for a promise could be to eat lunch every day. The tired day could be just a simple lunch counts, just getting some protein and fiber in. Stress, your promise to yourself could be, I want a 2-minute downshift once a day where I exhale longer than I inhale, and then I practice it. The tired day could be, I'm just going to do 3 slow exhales. So reducing the commitment, and that's okay. Letting ourselves know that that's okay. Another promise could be a boundary, no phone for the first 10 minutes when I wake up. On the tired day, it could be, okay, just the first 2 minutes. I gotta get to it. Um, and then we have the daily check-in. So that's what we were referring to earlier, is each day just rating yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. What's my energy, my mood, my hunger, and my stress? But then ask yourself, what's my next best move? And is this a tired day or is
Mhm.
this a regular day? And and then making it public, just putting that commitment out there in the community. You could simply post, my pillar is, and remember, we're only doing one pillar this week. So pick sleep, stress, food, or strength. Just one. Just one. And Vicky, you are always good about that. Just do one thing every day. Um, so what you could post in the chat would be, or on in the community, is my pillar is blank. My promise is this, and then my tired day version is this. And what happens if you miss a day? It's okay. You just pick yourself up and keep going. That's the skill. And with my weight loss clients, this happens all the time. It's Friday, they blow it in their minds. I've blown it, so I'm going to give up the whole weekend because what the heck, I'll start on Monday. And I'm like, it's just one meal, it's just one day. Don't make it a 3-day thing. Don't make it from Halloween to Christmas thing, because that happens all the time. It all starts with Halloween, the sweet treats. And it's like, oh yeah, well, then Thanksgiving's coming, then the holidays are coming. So forget the whole thing and I'll be back in January. And then they've gained weight or really sabotage themselves. So I was like, it's just a day. It's just a day. Let's just pick ourselves back up on the next day and be kind to ourselves. I think being kind to ourselves is just so important. And I've started actually it's a little bit of mirror work where, like Karen, when you're not feeling good about your weight, just looking in the mirror, looking at yourself and telling yourself you love yourself. And
Mhm.
I've started doing that with in the shower when I'm putting on my cleanser. Why did my camera? Did my no? Okay, my
Well, it
computer
does
is
that.
doing
It's
weird
okay.
things.
It's all right.
It's going crazy.
Your recording will be fine.
Okay.
Y
Okay.
You
Great.
won't notice it.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that practicing that self love, and when I'm
Mhm.
putting on my makeup and I'm looking at my face, going, well, that's nice and old looking and sagging, and yeah. So just telling myself I love myself. So that's always a good thing. And whoops. Good.
Yes, I did that. I was working with actually Vicki Kellen Flukener, and that was part of his thing, having the affirmations. And one of them was that I love me, and that was so hard. That was the one I couldn't take. And finally, I said it, and I cried.
Mm.
But then I started saying it, and I haven't done that recently. So that's something to look out for.
Yeah, that I think that is one of the hardest things, honestly. But if you practice it every day, even if you don't believe it, it'll
Exactly.
it'll start to soak in.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a practice I do every day. Every day while I'm washing my hands, I look at my left eye and go, "I love you. You are so amazing. Look what I've done it for
Yeah.
years and years and years. I just think
And that's
it's important for me, and you're beautiful and amazing and smart, and yeah, there's lots to love about you already. Just so much to love about you. And you're such a great friend and good mom and, so much to love about you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so put your hand on your tummy, when you're not feeling it, not feeling the love, and just tell your stomach, I love you. I still love you. I love you. We're working on it.
It sounds good.
Yes. So today, you did something powerful. You stopped treating yourself, you stopped treating midlife like a personal failure, and you started treating it like a season with different inputs. Your job this week is one pillar, one promise, and a tired day version. and and then I want you to post it into Skool after this call. And if you could share for me any positive feedback, that would.
Well, here we are. We're just going to wait till she gets back.
Yes.
You didn't believe her, and I can see it in your eyes, but you are very lovable, lovable, lovable. Such a great friend. One of my
Well,
favorite people on the planet is you.
well, thank you. When I was doing it with Kellen, it was so difficult. I could do every other one, but that one was so difficult. And when I finally got it for more than a year, that was part of my daily process were
Mhm.
affirmations and that one. And I really need to get back into that because it made a huge difference in my perspective.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. It's such an I love I didn't expect this, but I'm loving it so much. Everybody with their schools up and how awesome they are and how awesome what they're doing is. And I'm learning so much. And this class with Jennifer is over the top good. It is amazing. And what it's opened up for me is um, how women are ignored and treated.
mhm.
And I went all the way back and I was like in the 40s and 50s when women hit menopause and it started going on, they gave women Valium. For decades, they drugged women. In fact, it used to be in movies in the 1960s, where the stars were like, get her some Valium, or
Mm.
that prescription. And I was like, wow, this is so inspiring and transforming. I want every woman to know, every woman. Imagine if every woman knew the whole way, all the strengths and metamorphose you go through as a woman. Here you are when you have a baby and when you go through the perimenopause and everything you do. And it's, it's somehow a blessing, although you can't really, when you're going through it, you can't figure out that it's a blessing. There's some part of it that is divine, in my opinion.
Well, we were created that way, and that's
Mm.
why it's divine. But because of the lack of information, I have been in postmenopause for almost 15 years. Um, and I had no idea. I have learned so much from Jennifer's community that I could look back at and say, hey, that wasn't my fault. Now,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean I don't have responsibility for whatever I did, but it's enlightening to know that there were reasons for it. And even now that it's okay that my hormones are still a little squirrely.
Yes.
So you can deal with it when you know what it is.
Yes. And that's the thing. It's the being able to deal with it when you know what it is. And
Yes.
there's a change in the guard happening right now. And I'm all about that. But I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but these groups that are out right now, they are going to change the world. And the thing is, it's the hard work that you do to make the connections with people and writing and telling them the story over and over and over. And they have to find you so many times. But that's the hard work. If you were going to be something for God, everybody would like to be the great thing for God, but how many ditch diggers are there? How many seed planters are there? How many people are actually doing the hard work of getting the message out in a real form that people can deal with and understand?
Mhm.
That's like what's happening now. And your group, I'm like, this is my secret prayer. I want your group to pass mine. I want it to go like the next month, 135 or 100 so I can go, "See, look what happened, and she did it in this time," and it's a great testimonial so that people can see this can happen that fast, and you're rocking it. I know you think you're not because in your mind, you want things to happen faster than they are, and I'm like, "Slow down and relax. You're doing great." And you're like, "No, I'm not. I'm just not there yet." Okay, so it's like, being at the top of this ski slope and really doing really well all the way down, but all the way down happens when it happens. Hi,
Mhm.
Jen.
That I had to I don't know what happened, my computer completely blew up. I'm gonna stop recording. I don't know
That's
what
good.
Well,
okay.
we've been talking about your